just flip-flops on, singing to that highway song. Got a little naive smile, the kind that drives you out. Nothing like playing with fire, brings the boy to life. Be with the fuse you light, you're good, you're dynamite. You made my day when you walked into town beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to find
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds where the sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this May the 8th, 2023. Today's show is brought to you by SeatGeek and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media and Belly Up Network group of shows. Make sure you check out BellyUp.com for all of their great articles. They got there a lot of great sports articles from football to hockey to basketball and soccer, and even car racing's in there as well if you're into all that kind of stuff. They did it again. The Toronto Maple Leafs went out and they fooled me again. They did it like no matter what for, I think, the 48th consecutive year. Been on this earth for 48 years, going on 49 in August, but they did it again. They fooled me. They tricked me. They thought they had a Stanley Cup contender. I shouldn't have believed it after the first round that they were lucky to escape from, I guess is one way of saying it. They won 3 games in overtime. They really haven't done anything offensively since game 2 of the Tampa Bay series. They were lucky to get out of that series. They've scored 2 goals in each of their last 5 games in these National Hockey League playoffs. The big 4 per se, especially Matthews and Marner, I'm going to rip on them in a little bit. They've been basically unseen, unheard on everything. They've been an atrocious hockey team throughout this second round of the National Hockey League playoffs, and they fooled me, and that's on me, not on anybody else. It was just disgusting effort last night by the Maple Leafs. They looked disinterested, disheartened, disillusioned, everything else. It was an awful, awful effort from start to finish. Their goaltender Wall, who came in, played quite well in relief of Samsonov, who got injured because of a lazy play by him. Austin Matthews didn't get the puck deep and everything else. Now that turnover was on him that caused that collision. That now Samsonov's out. So now you're up to your third string goaltender, I guess, with Wall. The Toronto Maple Leafs were an absolute disaster last night. They looked like a team that didn't want to be there. They were overmatched, outplayed, outcoached, out everything last night. It was an awful, awful effort to a man by a team that says they're a National Hockey League team, that says they're a contender. It was a gross game. It was a gross effort, mainly by 2 guys who were paid big bucks. Yes, you don't get paid in the playoffs, and you play the playoffs to win yourself a championship. And if that team thinks they're a championship contender, they're sadly mistaken. Those 2 guys, they could care less last night. It was an awful effort by Marner. He was giving pucks away, would not go in deep, would not take any bumps, any bruises. You always expect him to put on a dazzling display with the puck on his stick, but he was giving the puck away on consistent basis last night, giving it away on the boards, turning it over at inopportune times. It's never a good time to turn the puck over, but he's a guy that puck possession is his thing, and he put in an effort last night that looked like he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be part of that team, didn't want to be part of that game. It was an awful effort to a man last night. They had nobody going for them. It was an absolute disgraceful performance by a team that tells you year in, year out that they're close and they're a championship caliber team. It was an absolute disgraceful performance by 4 guys. I don't even know if I saw Tavares on the ice last night, but he wasn't the main reason why they lost that game. It came down to 2 guys who year in, year out put up decent numbers. Maybe they're hurt. We know Matthews, he took a bit of a bump last night. Matthews, I think the first shift of the game, he rung one off the crossbar, and you didn't really see him after that. It was an awful effort. He had a shot in the third period, I think it was, that that was a good scoring chance, but they didn't put it away, and the Leafs ended up losing. They had a couple of chances early. They were leading 1-0. They were leading 2-1, and they had a couple of chances to put that game away with any type of effort. It took a little bit of effort to get that game going for them last night, and they just didn't get it done. They couldn't get it done, and year in, year out, no matter what, I get fooled by those bunch of I was going to swear, but I'm not going to swear first thing or at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday to try to be positive on this Monday morning and everything else. But it was just a costly giveaways throughout the game. But by those two players, by the defense, they just did not play well. O'Reilly had a horrible giveaway in the second period that almost cost him a goal. And Wall came out and made a great save on that and saved his bacon. O'Reilly went and apologized to his goaltender after that because it was an awful thing. It was a good thing that a leader like that does. But I thought that this Leafs team had something going for them, getting past the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round, getting over that hump, and then they get a gift, I guess, but with the Boston Bruins, so their other rival. Lost in the first round to these Florida Panthers, and then now you have a 3-0 deficit. It's over. This series is over, and I think the players want it that way. The way that team played last night, it looked like they didn't want to play in Game 3. They probably don't want to play in Game 4, and it was a disgusting effort by a team that said that they were going to be a championship team, a championship caliber team, and they fooled the fans again. You had a hockey team that was so disinterested when David Kampf and Sam Lafferty are your two best players out there, and you heard their name a lot last night on the broadcast, on the telecast. They were all over the ice, all over everywhere. And I'm not having a knock on those two players at all. I'm having a knock on the rest of that hockey team. You have 5 guys that are making over $40-some million, and it's not good enough. They're just not good enough when it comes to push comes to shove. You have a guy like Willie Nylander who's wheels around on the outside, not doing anything of any substance. Yeah, he possesses a puck and possible scoring chances and expected goal rate and all that other crap that the analytics nerds talk about. Nylander's an absolute disgrace to the game of hockey, the way he plays on the outside, on the perimeter. Yeah, he only makes $6 or $7 million a year, which is a bit of a bargain. But you know what? He's not the kind of guy that you can build a hockey team around. He's not the kind of guy who's a top 4 or top 6 or whatever terminology they use. Nylander's a joke. Tavares is overpaid. They went out and got him in 2018 on July 1st, 2018, and Leafs Nation was jumping up and down, patting themselves in the back and how that was going to be a championship piece to put it all together and get rid of the Stanley Cup drought that the Leafs are on. He's an absolute disaster. He's too slow. He doesn't do anything of any substance out there. He's not a leader. He doesn't do anything of any substance out there to make that team better. And like I said, those two guys, Matthews and Marner, they look like the entitled little pricks that people say that they are. The rumor has been abound for a long time. You remember back in October when Marner got his butt hurt because Sheldon Keefe gave him a bit of a benching in I think it was in Arizona with the Coyotes. He got benched. His lip was on the frickin' ice. He was pouting so much, and he showed it last night. The entitled little prick that he is. He didn't do a damn thing last night. He was awful to a man. He was the worst player. The guy's making that much money. He wants to get paid so much money every year, and the commercials and everything else. Maybe worry about playing hockey and don't worry about skip the dishes commercials. Worry about going out and winning a championship for your hockey team. You know, it's a terrible effort last night by a team that has a fan base that is so true to them, and it was a disgusting effort. And they almost owe an apology to Leafs Nation and to the people who go to Maple Leaf Square to watch these games, because that effort last night was inexcusable in a pivotal Game 3 when you're down 2-0. You haven't scored goals, and you got 2 goals in the last 5 games in each game. It's an awful effort for a team that said that they were poised to win the Stanley Cup. And you had a road last weekend when I was with some friends. We were talking about the road that the Leafs had to get to the finals. Looked like it was going to be pretty open to get to the finals. Maybe not win something, but then you watch that game last night. They aren't close. That team is not close. The leadership group isn't close. I don't think it's Keith's fault. He put a team together and said, here you go. This is what you got. You guys, you know what? You wanted players. You wanted guys with cup experience. You wanted this. Could they get a goaltender? Everybody can get a goaltender. Everybody wants a great goaltender. There isn't that many out there. So it's not a goaltending problem at all. Wall played good last night. Samsonov's been more than good enough. And then Murray, who knows what that cracker box is all about. But it's just an absolute disgrace. The effort that they put in last night was absolutely terrible. Like, you look at that game on Saturday night with the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton is leaps and bounds a better hockey team. And I'm not just talking about Draisaitl and McDavid. I'll talk about them in half a second. But you look at that team, and you have guys crashing and banging. And Bouchard's got points in like 6 or 7 straight playoff games. He's been unbelievable since he's come over to the Edmonton Oilers. And then you have a guy like Evander Kane giving the body shots and fighting 24 minutes in penalties, crashing and banging. He's been a great player for the Edmonton Oilers in these playoffs. He was great in that game. I don't know if you guys saw the game on Saturday night when he was blowing kisses at that lady who was giving him the finger in the front row after he got in that fight, and he was down on the ground giving body shots like he was in the movie The Warriors or something. It was unbelievable to watch Kane doing that. And if anybody in Leafs Nation, if they think, or anybody in the hockey world for that matter, thinks that Matthews and Marner are a top 5 NHL players in this National Hockey League, well, it's a big jump from 1 to 2 to 4 to 5, because if you look at what McDavid and Draisaitl are doing on a nightly basis throughout the National Hockey League playoffs compared to that crap that Matthews and Marner put out last night, it's not close. Anybody who says that those two are elite, they're lying to themselves. Like McDavid and Draisaitl. Draisaitl's already got 13 playoff goals. The record's 19. He could be at 19 by Wednesday night after game 4. Like it's unbelievable. The people try to compare McDavid and Matthews last year because Matthews scored 60 or whatever it was. They were trying to compare the MVP and everything else. It ain't close. It isn't close. Who's a better hockey player? And those guys showed it last night. The kind of players they are. Instead of playing Xbox tonight, Matthews and Marner, maybe take some advice from me. Put down your Xbox controller and watch what a real hockey team does. Watch what a real leaders do. Watch what real superstars do with McDavid and Draisaitl compared to that crap you guys pulled last night. Leafs Nation, I feel bad for you people. I really do. Like, I'm a Leafs fan, but I'm not a diehard like my brother-in-law, my girlfriend, and her father. He gets so sick he can't even watch the games. He gets so revved up about it, so he just follows on his phone a little bit. But it's the rest of Leafs Nation that have been starving for a championship for how long, and that is the payback that you give them. These people adore you, and that's the crap you put out on the ice last night. I don't want you guys to even win one game in this playoff round. I want you to actually not even bother playing tomorrow night. Don't even bother showing up, because it was an absolute embarrassment, and to pull the heartstrings of Leafs fans for this many years, it's an absolute freaking disgrace. And what you put on the ice last night was absolutely atrocious, and you should be embarrassed, and you should have a written apology or a formal apology, because no one reads the paper anyways. A formal apology saying, you know what, we were bad. Here's $1 million for all your problems over the year. Go have a party somewhere in Maple Leaf Square. We'll buy all the drinks you can drink, because what you did last night, you owe the fans something. Don't tease them with a win. Don't win 1. Don't win 2. There's no point. You guys don't have the heart or the balls or the intestinal fortitude to win 4 games. So why even bother? You're lucky to be where you are right now. It was an awful display. I can't believe that I stayed up to watch that crap. I could have done anything else last night than watch that horrible hockey game. You're lucky to be 3-2. That goal that they scored, that wasn't Wall's fault. Not at all. Not his fault at all. Wraparounds sometimes get looked at as a bad goal. That puck was dumped in. There was no pushback from the defenseman. There was no pushback from the forwards to stop anybody from going. Reinhart went in, bip, bop, finished, game was over. It was an awful effort by the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. How it was only a 3-2 hockey game is beyond me, and I cannot believe that that's the way it all turned out. It was absolutely terrible the way that they played last night, and I cannot believe that the Leafs fans are going to turn out again at Maple Leaf Square and watch that crap again tomorrow night. It was a terrible effort, but to a man, and the Leafs fans do not deserve that. Dubas does not deserve that, and the rest of the coaching staff does not deserve that. That's on the players, and the players 100%. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Dubas, he said, here you go. Here's the players. Here's all the guys you wanted. Here's the playoff experience you want. Here's everything you could possibly want. Go out and win something. And the players just didn't. You have 4 guys that did absolutely nothing last night, and they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. Anyways, I got a little revved up there. Anyways, yeah, it's too bad for Leafs fans. I do feel bad for them. It's been a long haul, and they thought they had something going, and they just don't got her. But anyways, there's my rant for the day. Let's see what we got going on for birthdays today. Who do we got? Where is it? It is happy birthday to on this day first, in 1984, Kirby Puckett of the Minnesota Twins had 4 hits in his Major League Baseball debut in a Twins 5-0 win over the California Angels in front of 23,678 at Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California. Puckett went 4 for 5 with a stolen base in the start of his Hall of Fame career that lasted 12 seasons, all with Minnesota, where he hit 318 home runs, 1,085 RBIs, and he hit 318 in his career and 207 home runs. Puckett, one of the all-time great Twins, obviously, and a Hall of Famer. Ran into some problems later on in life and passed away, I think, in 2001. He went in the Hall of Fame in 2001, so he didn't last much longer after that. But Puckett, he was a great Twin. Those Twins World Series championships had Kirby Puckett's signature written all over those. He was a great player and played the game the right way. And happy birthday to Ray Whitney, the Wizard, born on this day in 1972 in Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. Whitney played in 22 National Hockey League seasons after being drafted in the second round of the 1991 NHL entry draft after lighting up the Western Hockey League, getting 185 points in 72 games with the Memorial Cup champion Spokane Chiefs. Whitney played 1,330 games in the National Hockey League, scoring 385 goals, 789 assists for 1,064 points with stops in San Jose, Edmonton, Florida, Columbus, Detroit, Carolina, Phoenix, and Dallas, winning a Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes in 2006 versus the Edmonton Oilers, basically his hometown team. Remember that Righteous Felon Jerky is the official supplier of beef jerky to Belly Up Sports and the Belly Up Media Network. So go to righteousfelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP for 15% off their great beef jerky. I've tried some. It's a fantastic product. I should have showed a package, but I ate it all already and threw it the package away. But no, Righteous Felon, thank you very much for supporting Belly Up Sports. Also, I'm off the ball field tonight, which is a good thing. First time in a while, so I'm going to be on playback TV tonight to watch the Yankees hopefully get off the schneid against the hapless Oakland A's. Watch that game. Tune in tonight to watch a few innings with me. We'll hoist a beer too and have some fun and have some laughs watching the ball game. And then Dave and I are recording our regular 1420 podcast tonight, so that'll be out. And make sure you guys tune in to last call that we recorded with Jim Flotner, the fan of the van. We're talking about the state of the New York Yankees last night. We recorded late last night, and thank you very much to Jim for joining us last night on Last Call. Lots going on here at World Headquarters. It's been a hectic week, but we got shows coming on. Thank you very much for everybody who's listening to the podcast, who follows us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and everything else. But more importantly, take care of each other. More importantly, take care of yourself. Need you around. And as always, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have a good day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Beer with the Sports, talking a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.